The newly released convict is utterly ruthless and intends to visit the girl he once harmed, curious to see what she looks like 10 years later. Arrogantly heading to the victim's residence, he ends up shot dead with a headshot by an ordinary-looking housewife. After taking down the organ traffickers, Bona does not execute them directly. Instead, she forces the entire criminal ring to surrender to the police voluntarily. Beforehand, her team cleans up the crime scene and deletes all guest records from the homestay's past month, leaving no trace for police investigation. As the traffickers turn themselves in, Teeman monitors them in real time with his drone beetles. At the familiar buzzing sound, the old gang leader recalls Bona's chilling smile. Terrified, he fully confesses every murder and organ harvesting crime and orders his men to kneel obediently before the floating device. Hyeonam cannot understand why they hand these villains to the law instead of punishing them themselves. Bona explains this operation is only a preliminary measure, letting the judicial system mete out punishment and uphold the authority of the law. Tong Jin, lead detective on the trafficking case, feels no joy over the easy confession. Instead, he keenly senses the surrender was manipulated from behind the scenes, most likely by Kingfisher. For years, the police have always been one step behind Kingfisher, never able to uncover the assassin's true identity. Unable to catch up, Tong Jin decides to predict Kingfisher's next target and set a trap in advance. His investigation reveals Kingfisher's victims are all corrupt scoundrels of different profiles. Yet there is one strange pattern: Kingfisher has never publicly targeted criminals who assaulted young girls. Oddly enough, 8 such offenders have been released from prison over the past 15 years, and all 8 died in bizarre accidents on the very day of their release. Tong Jin suspects all 8 deaths were actually Kingfisher's doing. Coincidentally, another criminal named Pyo Jae-chul is being released today. Tong Jin plans to shadow him secretly, using the villain to lure out Kingfisher. Pyo Jae-chul once victimized numerous young girls. Upon his release, furious parents gather outside the courthouse, refusing to accept the monster returning to society. Journalist Taesung arrives to cover the scene and witnesses Pyo Jae-chul showing no remorse, only contempt toward the protesting crowd. Mothers who see the news live in fear, wishing the mysterious hero Kingfisher would eliminate this fiend. None of them have any idea that Bona, currently attending a parent-child activity alongside them, is the very Kingfisher they admire. The police fasten an electronic ankle monitor on Pyo Jae-chul and escort him home. During the trip, they stop at a service station, where Pyo asks to use the restroom. Inside, he secretly takes out a note, follows the instructions, and hides in a stall. Minutes later, the officers outside receive an emergency alert from the ankle monitor. They rush into the restroom only to find Pyo gone, with the rear window wide open. The officers immediately chase the signal. Right after they leave, Pyo Jae-chul walks out of the final stall. Waiting to pick him up are none other than team leader Kim and Teeman. Ever since learning of Pyo's upcoming release, team leader Kim has formulated a plan. They discovered Pyo is close to a former prison mate, Park, who was convicted of distributing obscene materials and released 3 months earlier. The two plan to flee overseas together after Pyo's release to build an illegal adult content production base abroad. Bona insists on taking action before Pyo returns home, as his last victim lives nearby. Allowing the girl and her family to see their abuser again would inflict secondary trauma. Team leader Kim approves her suggestion and sets the operation at the service station. Teeman's task is to cut off the electronic ankle monitor, attach it to a prosthetic limb, and mislead the police. The team also learns Pyo suffers from severe pollen allergies and plans to lure him into a birch forest. Hyeonam had prepared the medication in advance. They would stage the death scene to make it look like Pyo Jae-chul had died accidentally from pollen allergy while fleeing. Team leader Kim lied that he and Teeman had been sent by Park to pick him up, and that they had secretly slipped the note into his pocket. Still, the suspicious Pyo Jae-chul refused to trust them and insisted on calling Park on the spot to verify. Fortunately, team leader Kim had anticipated this and saved Park's number on the phone. The moment the call went through, Agent Key blocked the signal, triggering a "cannot connect" prompt. Seeing Pyo remain doubtful, team leader Kim feigned anger at being unappreciated and warned they would leave if he did not get in the car soon. Pyo Jae-chul finally dropped his suspicions and obeyed. On the way, the scumbag suddenly demanded a detour to his old place. He wanted to see for himself whether the 8-year-old girl he had harmed years ago had grown into a beautiful young woman. At those words, Teeman could no longer contain his rage and stunned him with an electric shock. Teeman swapped places with Hyeonam. Hyeonam rode with team leader Kim toward the birch forest to administer the drug as planned. Meanwhile, the two police officers tracked the ankle monitor signal, only to find the device fastened to a prosthetic limb tossed inside a sand transport truck. Tong Jin, who had been covertly monitoring the escort, sensed something was wrong. Learning Pyo had escaped, he ordered officers to set up roadblocks and search every passing vehicle. Agent Key alerted team leader Kim about the police checkpoints, urging them to finish the mission quickly. Right then, the supposedly stunned Pyo Jae-chul regained consciousness. Unnoticed by team leader Kim and Hyeonam, he pulled out a knife stolen from the service station, cut his restraints, and attacked them. Team leader Kim slammed on the brakes but got stabbed. Both he and Hyeonam blacked out. Pio fled the vehicle, forced a housewife out of a passing car, abducted her child, and sped away. Agent Key quickly traced his escape route and determined he was heading for the dock to flee by boat. Ignoring his stab wound, the revived team leader Kim gave chase. Elsewhere, Bona, who had not joined the operation, saw the news report about Pio taking a hostage. Her gentle expression faded, replaced by a cold, murderous look. Upon reaching the dock, Pio threw the car keys into the sea. In a savage act, he began pushing the car toward the water, intending to dispose of the hostage along with the vehicle. Team leader Kim arrived, rammed his car against the sinking vehicle, and rescued the child. Team chased Pio but was too late. The man boarded a boat and pulled away from shore. Believing he had escaped, Pio taunted the group on land. In the next instant, a long-range bullet pierced his forehead. When Tongjin arrived, he saw the bullet wound on Pio's forehead. Though all evidence had been erased, he instantly recognized Kingfisher's signature killing style. What puzzled him was that the previous 8 similar criminals had all died in faked accidents, yet this time Kingfisher had openly shot the target. Back at their base, team leader Kim blamed himself for forcing Bona to intervene personally. They had always gone to great lengths to make targets die in seeming accidents precisely to shield Kingfisher and keep police off her trail. By firing openly to save a life, Bona had drawn police suspicion right back onto herself. The most wanted Kingfisher had ended up protecting the whole team. Only then did Hyeonam truly realize that Bona bore the greatest risk within the group. That night, after putting her daughter to sleep, Bona picked up a doll delivered by mail. She sliced it open and retrieved a hidden electronic device. With a grave look, she dropped the device into a cup of water. On the other side, Taesung finished work and walked toward his front door. He received a mysterious text message containing only one sentence: "You kept your promise today. You are so kind."